Are you struggling with binge and emotional eating, and you've tried everything from therapy to willpower to different nutrition programs and you're still stuck binge eating? It's because you're making this very specific mistake. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to overcome that and 3 specific ways to heal your relationship with binge eating so you have total freedom. I've helped women worldwide to break free of lifelong struggles with binge eating and instead step into the confidence and freedom they deserve so they can fully live their lives. Recently, one of my inspiring clients shared, I've had problems with body hatred and binging my whole life. It's been 35 years of this endless cycle, and it impacted every single area of my life. I never thought I would be able to get out, but now I have freedom. I have tools to redirect and calm myself instead of turning to food. I have energy, I feel more inspired, I've become open and loving, and I'm excited to see how my future unfolds. This is the work that I've dedicated my life to and I love so much. If you are really struggling with your relationship to binge eating and you desperately want freedom, there is a link below to connect with me directly, and I would love to guide you into the confidence and peace you truly deserve. Now let's get into the video. Stop making the mistake of thinking that binge eating has to do with determination and willpower, because it doesn't. Binge eating has nothing to do with willpower and determination in your conscious mind, and everything to do with safety, which is exactly what we're going to cover. Most people make the mistake of thinking, if I'm just a really determined person, I'm going to be able to stop binge eating. I will just tell myself tomorrow will be the day that I quit binge eating and all will be well, only to find yourself in that same exact position tomorrow, and then you feel really guilty, you feel really ashamed, and then you tell yourself you're a failure, and the cycle continues. Am I right? Drop me a comment in the comments if this is true for you. I've been there before too. I've worked with some of the most determined people in the world, competitive Olympic athletes who still struggle with binge eating, even though they are so determined, because again, it has nothing to do with determination and willpower and everything to do with safety. Your body does not care that you are determined to do something when your subconscious is programmed differently. So let's get into safety and what that means. So I want you to understand that this pattern of binge eating comes from a specific part of you. So I want you to imagine, and you can get an object if this is helpful for you to conceptualize. I want you to imagine that you have a part of you, I like to use this little troll as an object. A part of you engages in binge eating, and you can think back to how old this part of you might be. For me, my binge eating part developed when I was 18 years old and I was recovering from struggling with anorexia. Why I'm telling you this is because I want you to really start to see, first of all, that you have a part of you that engages in this binge eating pattern. It's not all of you, it's a specific part of you. And let's go a level deeper. This part of you started binge eating as a way to help you to feel safe. So I'll give you some other examples. I worked with a client whose binge eating part started binge eating because she recognized that when her parents were getting divorced, this little binge eating part developed to start eating as a way for her coping with that chaos in her family. You don't need to go to the depths of your past to really understand why this binge eating part came to be. I just want you to understand that this part that's binge eating is not trying to hurt you. We don't have parts of us that do this maliciously to try and hurt us, even if their behaviors are hurtful in the end. This part is just trying to help you to feel safe. And so when we try to use willpower and determination to change the behaviors of this part, it doesn't work, because we have to help ourselves, our body, to feel safe, this part of us to feel safe, to change that behavior. So many times when you find yourself binge eating, even though it's so automatically programmed, it's because in that moment, your biology, your nervous system does not feel safe. So then it starts relying on this old familiar pattern it has of binge eating to help bring your nervous system into a state of safety. Are we tracking so far? I hope this is making sense so far. So you have a part of you that learned how to binge eat. It's developed this pattern of binge eating to help you feel safe. This has been repeated time and time again. And through the beautiful brain and neuroplasticity, we understand it's become a habit, and it's become a habit rooted in safety. So this is why all this determination and willpower isn't going to change these subconscious things that are going on below the surface. The really good news is that if we can create safety with this part of us and safety within our nervous system, we can have a direct impact on bringing down the intensity, the frequency of these binge eating episodes, and eventually teaching your body how to develop other habits that are much more useful and pleasant and have much better positive side effects than using food as a means of coping. What I also want you to understand is that this behavior of binging, I think you're going to learn how to become really compassionate towards this part of you, because you're going to learn that this part of you who started binge eating was just trying to help. In my example, my binge eating part that developed when I was 18 years old started binging because it was trying to save me from feeling, from literally dying and from perishing from not eating. This part of me, thank goodness, came into the world and came into fruition to try and help me to feel safe by binge eating food. So at whatever point that your binge eating part arose, that was actually necessary for your survival. And that's where we can learn how to have compassion for this part of you. So a couple questions that I want you to reflect on are, number one, how old is this little binge eating part of mine? Number two, how is it trying to support me? What need is it trying to fulfill? Number three, how do I feel when this binge eating part does its thing? Number four, what would I prefer this binge eating part to be doing instead? So you might need to take a moment, reflect on all of that. You can take as much time as you need. I actually want you to get an object, because this is really going to help you conceptualize this, that this is not all of you. It's not your identity. You're not a binge eater. That's another mistake that people make, and I myself made in my journey of healing binge eating. We start to attach this as our identity, which makes it very difficult for us to feel possibility and to understand that we can actually heal this, because we become so enmeshed in this diagnoses and labeling. I want you to get an object to really represent this binge eating part of you and to answer those questions and reflect. And you can have a genuine conversation with this binge eating part. Ask it whatever other questions you feel necessary to ask it right now. Okay, so now that we've learned we have this binge eating part, we've had a conversation with it, you've asked it some questions, you're starting to build more safety within yourself because you've built this awareness, you're starting to cultivate more understanding. All of these human emotions are upward on the vibrational scale. So we're starting to build this increased level of safety. So now what I'm going to teach you how to do is a few very basic tools to help you and your nervous system get into an increased state of safety, so that that energy is going to, again, have a direct correlation in decreasing the intensity of your binge eating episodes, decreasing the frequency, and also providing a toolbox for you other than the binge eating to use. Okay, so here's the first tool we're going to do together. This is called havening. So crossing arms at shoulders, then you just let your hands slide down to your elbows, you pick them back up, and you continue. And I'm going to check in with you after we do these few exercises, and I want you to tell me what you notice about your body and your state of being after we do these. So you can just keep repeating this action. See, I'm already yawning. Excuse me. Already feels so good, right? Very nice. Okay, so second tool is using acupressure points. So I want you to take your hand, your left hand, you're gonna come to between your fourth and fifth knuckles, so just in between. We don't have to be super scientific about this. You're gonna make a little pincher, a little sandwich here. And oh, see, there we go. You're just gonna massage. You're gonna massage these points just like this. So press in and give it a little gentle massage. You wanna do this for about 30 seconds. I'm sorry, see, it's so relaxing. Okay, other side. So we're gonna repeat the same thing on the other side. And finally, you're gonna find your point in between your eyebrows. This is actually a point that's part of the EFT tapping sequence, also known as our third eye in spirituality. So press in, give it a little massage. We're gonna do the same thing here. I have to turn away because I'm yawning so much. Okay, just release. And finally, bonus, take your earlobes and you're just gonna gently pull down. Give them a little stretch. Okay, so now take an easy breath. I want you to tune into your energy, your body, your thoughts, and notice what subtle things you're aware of. What's shifted for you? And I want you to write those in the comments for accountability. I want to know what's shifted for you. So for me, my eyes were watering. I feel a lot more relaxed. I feel almost sleepy. My breath and my heart rate are more calm. All of these things are signs that I've actually increased safety and capacity within my nervous system and within my body. And when we feel more safe, we don't engage in these patterns of binge eating, these self-sabotaging patterns to help us to feel safe, because we've provided safety to ourselves. We're not reaching outside of ourselves to do these patterns. And you can think about, if not binge eating, people often do other things like binge watch TV or binge alcohol. There's a lot of different habits that we reach for outside of ourselves because internally we're not feeling safe. And so you practicing, I gave you just 4 different exercises. If you practice those even in the morning or in the afternoon, or you pick a time in the day and you just repeat those exercises that I taught you, I want you to report back and notice what's changed in your relationship to food, because that is absolutely going to make an instrumental change. And that's what's actually going to transform your relationship to binge eating, not your conscious willpower, providing safety within your nervous system. Remember, the time to practice that isn't when you're in the most heightened trigger, because you're going to have the smallest window of probability of you actually using those tools. So you want to practice them before the urge starts getting really strong. And if you do end up engaging in binge eating, it's okay. Use the tools afterwards too, because all of that shame and disgust we feel for ourselves and frustration is all energy that creates a lack of safety within our nervous system that then still encourage us to binge again. So you can use these tools at any point in the cycle of that binge eating episode. Before, if you can make it to use the tools during, by all means do it, and you can use them after. So yeah, take those away and let me know how it goes. Let me know in the comments what you're taking away from this video. And remember that if you're really in need of support, you're really struggling with this on a deep level, of course, this video is going to do a lot for you, but working with an expert practitioner who's going to hold your hand through this journey, has a beautiful supportive community and all the right tools, is what you need to truly break free. It's so near impossible to do this alone. I've been on this exact same journey just like you, but once I found that right support, I healed a lifelong 30-year struggle with binge eating in a matter of months because I had the right support. So if you want to learn more about that, there's a direct link below in the description to schedule a call with me. And thank you so much for being here. Sending you so much love. I'll see you again soon.